Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/cheating stories, where OP's wife attended a bridal shower and, well, things got really wild. Let's begin. My wife may have cheated, but I don't have actual proof. Posted by Reddit user Cousins.
I am sorry for the length. First, some background. My wife, no kids, comes from a large family. Both her parents have 6 to 8 siblings. From this she has many cousins and second cousins. The families have known each other for generations, so are close. The wife is very close to 7 or 8 women. The last few years there have been many marriages, including our own and baby showers, which some have legendary status. I will explain below. All these gatherings are huge productions and well attended. Last weekend was a Christmas gathering. The family rented out a venue to fit everyone. This gathering was her mother's side of the family. Eventually, after going around greeting everyone, the close cousins settle in with each other and their significant others. The conversation came around to a bridal shower that happened last summer. Because the family is so big, they had 2 showers. One hosted by the older parents, aunts, grandma. The other hosted by and for the younger relatives. The cousins started reliving the shower with much laughter. The significant others were just sitting there smiling as we watched them enjoying the moment. One of the cousins started to start a story, pointing at another but was hushed. There was an awkward moment with these looks between each other. Now the significant others are curious, me included. We wanted to hear the story, but the subject was changed and any attempt to bring it up was shut down. I walked away to get some dessert and drinks. As I was hanging out by the bar, another of the significant others came up to me. He asked if I really wanted to know what happened. Of course I said yes. He took me outside. He pulled out his phone and swore me to secrecy. He had snooped on his wife's phone and found a short video of the shower. The young cousins and friends, about 20 to 25 people, shower had included strippers. Think dancing bear type. The video shows the guys dancing naked with the women laughing and screaming. The women were stroking them and some even sucking. The video shows the stripper going down the line in front of each woman seating on a bench along a wall. Each woman taking a slurp, some longer than others, or giving a hand job. The video is shot from the end of the line. In profile is my wife, she is third in line. Just as the stripper moved to the next woman, there was a large roar and the video scanned across the room to the other stripper. Then you hear "turn that off, no videos." The video ends. At the time I asked the wife about the shower. She said it was fun, but it was just a shower. She never went into detail. I dropped it at that time. Now with this news, months later, I am not sure how to handle it. I can't tell her I seen the video without revealing how I saw it. Should I ask about again if she got some guy's dick? Let it go. Our marriage has been rock solid for 5 years. There is another summer wedding next year.
OP, tell your wife that you know what happened that day and at least give her the chance to come clean. If she lies, and trust me, she will, tell her that you saw the video of the strippers and let her know that your literal marriage is on the line. Tell her that this is her last chance to come clean. OP, she will break down, crying, begging, and will do one of 2 things. Either she will come clean, or she will double down on a lie. Either way, I need you to understand one simple thing. Nothing will be the same after this. And now, for OP's update.
Here is an update to my post the other day. You can find the first post in my profile. I asked my wife what went on at the shower. She at first said it was just a shower. I told her I know more than just a shower took place. She looked at me, for it seemed like an hour. She took a deep breath, then told me they had strippers. She actually seemed embarrassed. I asked how all that came about. She tells me that at previous showers, some of the games they played and conversations had increasingly become raunchy. The older women did not like it and tried to shut it down. The younger relatives decided they would hold their own shower. The older relatives could have their more traditional shower. After that, the raunchiness got turned up a notch. Finally, a couple years ago at a shower, a stripper was brought in. It was the typical dancer that did his act to the screams of the crowd. Then he left. Nothing happened with the crowd. It embarrassed the bride. The cousins and friends were really divided about it. There for a short time was hard feelings. When the cousin, that was the ringleader, got engaged, there was some payback. The strippers were hired knowing the type of show they put on and the participation it would generate. It did the trick as the bride-to-be hid in another room during the performance. I asked what kind of participation was there. She said the guys danced real close to some of women, pulling some up to dance with them. I told her that I didn't have a problem with strippers were at the shower. Why didn't she tell me? Unless there was more to it. She got quiet then. I let the silence hang in the air. She was waiting me out, I think. I then said I saw a video of the strippers. I asked if there was anything else. Again silence. Then she said some of the girls got carried away. I asked her to go on. After hesitating, she admitted to what was on the video. After more silence, I told her I saw her. At this point she started crying. I swear I didn't do anything. You have to believe me. Ask my sister. As she cried more and more, I told her I saw her sitting along the wall as the stripper worked his way down the line. She said, then you know my sister, and I got up off the bench and got away from him. I told her the video didn't show that and that it cut away. I asked if her sister would confirm what she said. She said to call her. I video called her sister from the wife's phone. She was in shock when I told why I was calling. The sister verified what the wife had said. So I am believing what happened. I did tell the sister to tell her husband because this is going to get out. Now I am dealing with my wife, who is mad that I assumed she cheated, but at the same time ashamed she never told me. We have some work to do.
Her silence speaks volumes here, my friend. She was actively hiding what happened because she knew it was wrong. There is a serious lack of honesty from her here, and while it appears she didn't do anything inappropriate, you had to pry the information from her in an escalating fashion. If that's not a dancing crimson flag, I don't know what is. Not to mention the fact that she and others covered up the fact that a bunch of family members gave a stripper some blowjobs. Wow. Saying that out loud is just creepy. Look, OP, her sister isn't a trustworthy source. Some people would literally lie if their siblings ask them to. I'm just saying. Sorry, man. I'm not saying that they're lying. But who knows what really actually happened, right? Well, if you're not an idiot, you would already know. Look, man, she shouldn't be mad. She lied by omission, therefore assumptions of cheating are more than fair. OP, she actively hid this from you because they knew they did some fucked up things that night. She has no right to be mad. She should be groveling for your forgiveness. OP, there are more things that happened that night than what the video showed. Do not be blinded. She came from a family of bicycles, and those are the type of women who will encourage each other to cheat. I mean, you already seen the proof with your own eyes. The only work you should be doing is talking to a lawyer. Good luck. Today's second story is from r/ProRevenge. I guess it's my business now. A tale in 5 acts. Posted by Reddit user Egnards.
I've wanted to post this tale here for a long time. I've started the post many times, walking away from the computer and giving up each time. Note that like many tales here, many trivial to the story details have been changed. What is important to note is that the way my industry runs is essentially via monthly service contracts with clients. There are 3 major players in the story: myself, old owner, let's call him Steve, and new owner, let's call him Kyle. Act 1, do what you love. As an aimless teenager, I started working for a small business owned by Steve. It turns out I really enjoyed what I did. So slowly over time my life plans shifted to make sure I could continue to work for Steve for the long term. This included transferring to a local college, and because the business was predominantly run on part-time hour, making sure that any other jobs I had never conflicted with the hours I was expected to work for Steve. Steve was flawed, but overall a good boss who mostly looked out for me. I certainly think over the years he had taken advantage of me in small ways, but looking back I really have no complaints. The thing is that when I started working for Steve, the business name recognition was always directed towards Steve. Over the years it eventually became, go to OP, he's the best. This got to the point where I do indeed truly believe that if I did not end up working for Steve, it's very likely his business would have been nowhere near as successful as it eventually became. As years went on, it was heavily implied that when Steve retired the business would go to me. It was never specifically stated, but Steve did have a way about skirting around those types of issues and giving me hope. Act 2, enter Kyle. About 3 years before COVID, Steve decided to retire and sell his business. He did indeed fulfill his promise by making a half-assed attempt to sell it to me at an unreasonable price, but it was very clear he already had another buyer in mind, Kyle. Kyle owned another local business just outside of our market area in the same industry. Because of the way the industry worked, there really was much, if any, overlap in potential customers, but Kyle had a very large amount of money and was willing to buy. What is important to note here is that, again, I do truly believe that if I didn't play ball and agree to work for Kyle, my role was so integral to operation at our business that there was no possible way a sale could go through. Over the course of negotiations, Kyle ended up buying the business and putting me in charge of running the day-to-day. something I was mostly already doing, but with a few more administrative tasks tacked onto it. The thing is, my name was still the name in town, and Kyle made zero effort to ever be on location, so nobody that did business with us ever really knew who Kyle was. Act 3, Kyle's kind of a dick, and how I learned to stand up for myself. All was well for a while. Kyle would openly talk about me being the head honcho at my location, and mostly left me alone to deal with my clients, in the professional and personable nature that I had learned from Steve. Things first came to a head a year before COVID when Kyle sent me to an industry conference for 4 days. I would need to take off time from my other job, which I was fine with. At the conclusion of the conference, I put in an hour's request for the hours I spent at the conference, and I was super nice about it. Actually, I should have clocked all hours at the convention each day, but instead did not account for hours for seminars that would help my boss, but were ones I had wanted to attend. The request was denied and I was told, industry conferences are enriching activity. We pay for your admission, but they're on your own time. This took 2 weeks to resolve, but ended with me essentially saying, look, I'll still work for you because I love what I do. However, if I don't get paid, I will never go to another one of these conferences again to get new ideas for you. I was immediately paid. I will spare similar smaller stories of that nature, but that slowly started to become the relationship between Kyle and I. Act 4, COVID hits. When COVID hit, our locations were shut down, and for 3 weeks we weren't able to do anything. Meanwhile, our clients were still paying for services. And because Kyle had recently moved to a new client payment portal that I hadn't been trained on yet, I wasn't able to help any clients get their money back. At one point, I messaged Kyle about going virtual and being able to still assist clients, and got a very angry text back, full of curses, that essentially said, look, you're not the boss. Go fuck yourself. You've had your chance to be the owner and turned it down. I'm in charge. We did eventually go virtual about a week later. The big problem, of course, being that I would receive daily texts, emails, and calls from clients about their memberships and bills, and there was nothing I could do to help them. It was at this point that I knew shit was hitting the fan and I needed to start doing something. So over the course of the next 2 months, I did a couple things. Spent an inordinate amount of time studying the best business structures. Communicated with all of the other staff at my location about my intentions. Continued to give 110% to my clients in a virtual capacity. Built a website and social media presence from the ground up. I don't think Kyle was expecting any of this, and he probably didn't also realize that because I often had to do back-end stuff from home, I also had what was essentially a little black book of every client, their email addresses and phone numbers. Act 5, Surgical Strikes. When everything was ready, I waited very patiently only the end of a service month. As I mentioned, all of our clients had monthly costs, and I didn't want to put anyone out of any part of their costs. On the last weekday of the month, I instructed the staff who would be helping clients that day to tell them to check their emails at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I sent out an email to all active and some non-active clients, as well as a texting service to text everybody. I launched our social media accounts, our website, and had even enlisted a very small amount of trusted clients to spread the word via social media once I gave them the signal. Within 15 minutes of everything, my phone was ringing off the hook. I had 50 plus emails in my inbox from different people, and my Facebook accounts were completely blowing up with local chatter. I also heard from many of these people that they were calling Kyle to cancel their service. We hosted a Zoom meeting for all concerned parties and essentially decided to take the weekend to clear up any confusion with the systems and start fresh and open our doors on Monday. Within an hour of everything, Kyle sent out a text blast to every client that they would be shutting their doors effective immediately. At the start of COVID, we had roughly 50 active clients at the business. On my first day of business, I had signed up 75 active clients, many inactive ones telling me, "Yay, we stopped doing business with you guys because Kyle was kind of a dick." What is really important to keep in mind here is that I never wanted to, nor cared to be, a business owner. I was very happy working for somebody else as long as I wasn't treated like shit. Had Kyle treated me even remotely better, the location would have continued to thrive and be a staple in our local community. Kyle chose to be a dick to try and get quick money and cheat people, and Kyle lost out. We've been in business now almost 2 years, have nearly tripled Kyle's active numbers, and continue to be a staple in our community. TLDR, old boss sold his business to someone who was kind of a dick. New guy didn't realize I was the face of the business and ended up losing out on everything.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, one day I truly hope that people will learn not to piss off the one person who holds their entire business together. But unfortunately, the idiots are breeding with each other, so yeah, I don't see it happening anytime soon. I just don't know what goes through their heads, really. This guy is the one holding my business together and he's making me rich. So I'll screw him over so I can save a few more bucks. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my YouTube channel for you to watch absolutely free. So consider clicking that super thanks just below the video title, or you can use my PayPal in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.